Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Mark.
So Mark, today we're going to set the record straight about 10 different coffee myths.
That's right, so let's get right into it. Myth number 1, coffee is a bean. Well, turns out not so much. Because it looks similar to a bean, they're almost always called beans. Coffee is actually the seed of the fruit of an evergreen shrub or small tree classified in the family Rubiaceae. So what we use to make coffee is technically a seed or the pit of the coffee fruit. For more confusion, a bean is a seed, but not all seeds are beans.
Myth number 2, espresso has more caffeine than regular coffee. Well, actually, most regular coffee has more caffeine than an espresso. Reason is, in most brewing methods, water stays in contact with the coffee a lot longer than it does in the espresso brewing process. According to the National Coffee Association, a typical 8-ounce cup of drip coffee contains 65 to 125 milligrams of caffeine, while a 1-ounce shot of espresso contains 30 to 50 milligrams of caffeine.
Myth number 3, espresso is a type of coffee bean or roast. Actually, espresso is a brewing process and not a type of coffee bean, seed. Espresso is brewed by forcing hot water through finely ground coffee under pressure. Espresso can be made with any type of coffee. Of course, some are much better at brewing it into something enjoyable. But the fact remains, espresso can be brewed with any type of coffee.
Myth number 4, coffee should be stored in the freezer. Storing coffee in the refrigerator or freezer may seem like a logical way to keep them fresh, but in truth, the extreme cold is not good for the coffee beans and their oils. Storing the beans at low temperatures will dry them out. Heat, light, and moisture also contribute to degrading the oils in coffee beans. The best place to store coffee is in a cupboard or pantry in an airtight container. And by the way, ground coffee does go stale 100 times faster than whole bean coffee. So buy whole beans and always grind fresh just before brewing.
Myth number 5, drinking coffee is unhealthy. While the caffeine in coffee may have some slight adverse effects, there are many other compounds in coffee that are good for one's health. WebMD reports coffee drinkers are less likely to develop diabetes, especially in those who drink 6 or more cups a day. Coffee drinkers are 80% less likely to develop Parkinson's disease or liver cirrhosis, and 25% less likely to be diagnosed with colon cancer. And there's evidence that coffee can help prevent cavities, lift moods, cure headaches, and even stop asthma attacks.
Myth number 6, the darker the roast, the better the espresso. What you taste with very dark roasted coffee is actually the roast itself, not the actual coffee flavors within the bean. It's like burned steak. Beneath the char, you can't tell the difference between a fillet and a strip steak. In order to bring out all the flavors, it's important for coffee to be roasted to its optimum level. This peak roast level depends on several factors, including the type of bean, the timing of harvest, and the bean density.
Myth number 7, oily, shiny coffee is better than dull coffee. The truth is that oily surface you see on coffee is not a sign of freshness. It's usually a sign of over-roasted coffee beans. Over-roasting allows coffee oils, which contain most of the complex aromas and flavors of the coffee, to escape to the surface of the bean. These oils coagulate on the surface of the bean to give coffee a bitter, stale taste. Lighter roasts retain the aromatic oils that give each coffee its unique flavor.
Myth number 8, coffee is a potent diuretic. It is true that the stimulative effect of coffee is a slight diuretic. However, the overall volume of water you consume while enjoying your cup of coffee will more than make up for the small amount lost in your urine.
Myth number 9, bigger is better. Well, actually, espresso was designed by Italians to extract the intense flavors of the coffee. It's the European approach, small, satisfying portions using fresh ingredients, in contrast to the traditional American approach of serving large portions that fill you up but don't always leave you feeling satisfied. There is a growing movement in this country to adopt the European model of less is more.
And finally, myth number 10, espresso is bitter. Well, many who try espresso for the first time do find it to be bitter, and they think that that's the way all espresso tastes. In fact, some people think that's the way it's supposed to taste. The truth is, a properly pulled shot of espresso can be just as sweet or sweeter than brewed coffee. Done right, a shot of espresso is a combination of acid, sweet, cream, and bitter flavors, combining for a pleasant and complex flavor on the palate.
So there you have it, 10 coffee myths debunked.
If you have any coffee myths you want us to look into, just leave us a comment. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Mark from Whole Latte Love.
Thanks for watching.
Whole Latte Love is your resource for everything coffee. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily updates on new coffee gear, plus hundreds of videos including how-tos, equipment reviews, recipes, expert technical advice, and more.